Hello, good evening. Welcome. We are back. Welcome to another Unplugged Live. I'm just waiting for Sergio to join me, so we'll start our live session in a minute. Hello, Sergio. How are
Good
you?
evening, Lyle. Everything's fine.
Oh,
How's
great.
everything in Lisbon?
Yeah, great. Well, it's good to be back.
Yeah, likewise.
So,
Where's the party guy?
well, I think he's somewhere over here. He's trying to join. Okay, let me
Still
see.
celebrating the King's Day?
Probably.
Right, we're seeing him.
And I think we had some over here. Good evening, Gabriel.
Hello,
How are
hello.
you?
Fine. Thank you. And you
Very well.
guys?
Yeah,
It's
all's good
good to
here.
be back.
We're back. We are
Well,
back. We are back for
there,
good.
there was a TV show I used to watch several times, and it had plenty of seasons. Every time they would start it, they would shout very loud, "We're back!" So here we are. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Leonel Rodrigues from Desirable Portugal Tours. Welcome to our Unplugged live session. Wishing you a great 2025, and I want to thank all the new members of the Portugal Unplugged group. So feel free to ask your questions, and of course, we're going to start being here again every Monday, 9:30 p.m. With me, Gabriel Lima, GL Tours, based in the Algarve, Sergio Costa from Portugal EV Tours, based at Porto, and let's start the year telling some nice stories, some curiosities. Of course, we are here also to answer your questions, so feel free to add them on the comment section. And well, I'm going to throw the ball to Sergio to start over there in the north. You might have some interesting things to tell us from years and years of touring. So, go on.
Yep. So, hi, Vitor. He's already saying hi over here to the gang. And yeah, we decided to kick things off in 2025 with a bit of a lighter mood instead of our usual topics of tips and whatnot. And especially because we have quite a few new members who joined in the last couple of weeks, I want to say. I feel like it's a good introduction just for ourselves to just tell you a little bit about us, what we do, and also some interesting experiences that we had the pleasure to host. Some of them very memorable, and I want to kick things off. So. I run my little tour business over here in the north of Portugal, focused mostly on Douro Valley and wine tourism. And obviously, Douro Valley, it's a place that pretty much everyone has heard about. It's the oldest demarcated and regulated wine region in the world. And it's very fair to say this is actually something that we tour guides, we say amongst ourselves quite often, is that we don't have to promote the Douro. We don't need to go through much lengths to promote the Douro because the Douro is so widely known that we are just basically some a middleman or a way to provide a great experience to people wishing to visit the Douro Valley. And as part of that trip, one of the things that sometimes it pops up, well, I'm going to go from the more common to the least common. A lot of people like to make their Portuguese trip and they like to book the trip to the Douro Valley as being like the highlight of their Portuguese trip. It's fair. The Douro Valley, it's the most famous wine region in the country. It's definitely not the only one. I mean, Gabriel has an interesting wine region in the south. Lionel has a few over there around Lisbon as well. So it's very interesting to have all of this diversity. But the Douro Valley being the most famous one, and because of its unique landscape, a lot of people like to make it the highlight of their trip. And so what happens is that sometimes people like to book their trips, for example, around their birthdays or anniversaries or for a special occasion and they choose the Douro Valley to be a highlight. Um, for me, it's a great pleasure and a great honor to put together an itinerary, even if it is something I like to call it an introductory tour to the Douro Valley, because there's plenty more to see of the Douro Valley that can be that what can be seen on a single day. And so it's very often my pleasure to put together this unique and memorable experience for people to celebrate their birthday, their anniversary, wedding anniversary. So it's very common. And I remember this occasion. This was 2 years ago, I believe. And I remember that I had something like 5 tours in a week. And 4 out of those 5 tours, I had people telling me that, oh, we're actually here to celebrate our wedding anniversary. We're here to celebrate my husband's or my wife's birthday. And so, can you put something special together and and just help us just mark the date with a special event, even if it is like, for example, a special dessert, a special tasting, an extra glass of wine here and there, something a little bit more unique just to mark the date. And well, the guys at the place that I usually go to for lunch at Quinta de Ventuzil, that week, by the end of the week, they were starting to tell me, well, you seem like you are the party guy over here. Every day that you're coming over here, you're bringing people celebrating something. So they started nicknaming me, this is the party week for Sergio. So everyone is celebrating something over here. So yeah, this is one of the things. So special events, it's very common for me to host. And these are each one is unique, and the most memorable for me are actually the ones where people reach out to me and they actually ask me to put together something special for their wedding proposal. So usually it's the gentleman who approach me and say, well, I want to propose to my girlfriend during the Douro Valley trip. And yeah, Thomas over here is saying that he loves Quintas Ventuzil. Yep, who doesn't, right? And yeah, I had the pleasure of hosting over the course of the 7 years that I've been hosting tours now, quite a few wedding proposals. And it's true what they say, you never forget about the first time that someone asks you, has this request for you, and you always remember the way that you organize it, because it's already very stressful for the soon-to-be groom, as it is for the person helping him organize, because we want to make sure that everything goes perfect, as with all the tours. But this one is going to have a bit of a significant, a more important and significant meaning. And so I remember just organizing it and back and forth emails before their trip. What's the itinerary gonna look like? And he actually chose to propose at a time that, well, in terms of weather, it's not the most favorable. It was in January, so it's going to be roughly what I think this was in 2020, so it's going to be 5 years now. And I remember that we had quite a few options to do the wedding proposal. And so I suggested a few of them. So he actually wanted to book a private cruise on the Douro River. And I told him, so if you are booking the private cruise, might as well propose on the boat in the middle of the river, if the weather permits for that. And I'll help you up, and I'll even offer you a bottle of champagne for you guys to toast on the boat and celebrate the engagement on the boat over there. And so it was a wonderful experience. We then had a fantastic lunch, a couple of private tours at a few estates, and this was a very enjoyable experience for them. And I actually helped to document the entire day. I was sort of like their unofficial photographer for their engagement day, and I put together. I took a few hundred pictures of it, and I put together a short video of their day that I actually sent them as a souvenir afterwards. But then after that, I also hosted a few more couples who were also coming, and the gentleman, he was going to propose to his girlfriend, and so some of them followed the plan that I had suggested. Others, they actually felt that the moment was right, and they kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and they proposed when they felt it was right. And it was funny because one of the last couples that I hosted on such an occasion, um, we were actually having lunch at Ventuzela. I was going to take them on a quick tour of the estate afterwards at the viewpoint. There's a fantastic viewpoint at the estate. And that was a suggestion that I had made to make the proposal over there at the viewpoint. And he felt like the moment was right, and he proposed over lunch. And I was having lunch with the rest of the staff. And then the staff told me, well, your customer just proposed to his girlfriend, so how should we handle this? Well, you guys should have. It was a little bit my fault because I hadn't prepared them for the fact that there was this possibility. They knew that the couple, the gentleman, he was going to propose, but they were not ready for him to propose right there because I had told them, well, the plan is to take him on a quick tour and have them propose, and we'll be back with and have a toast with some champagne after we do the tour and whatnot, and we'll come back here to have this toast. But they told me, well, you guys don't worry. I approached the couple. And I told them, well, you jumped the gun and you did that without me. I'm a little bit offended right now. I'm a little bit sad that I missed the moment because I wanted to take a picture of the new engaged couple. So yeah, there's plenty of memorable occasions, and you tend to remember the ones where you imprinted a little bit of your happiness onto people, and those feelings, well, you give them a little bit of happiness, and you get a little bit of happiness back. And so I'm actually very happy and very fond of being part of these moments and helping people start life together, basically getting engaged, celebrating a special date, a special anniversary. Recently, on a bit of a more sad story, and I wouldn't, this is not the way that I would like to end it, but it's sad, but at the same time, it's impactful, and you'll know what I mean by this, because there was this group of three ladies that came on a Portuguese trip. Originally, they had the trip booked for four persons, but one of them unfortunately passed in the time between booking their trip and traveling to Portugal. The ladies, they decided to keep their travel plans nonetheless, and they said that this was their way of paying tribute to their deceased friend. And so this is something that also, even though it's a little bit on the sad side, I feel like it's also something that is moving, that is touching. And I remember this one, it just came to my mind. And it goes to show that people travel for all different reasons. And to drive the point home is that traveling is very personal. You do it for your own reasons. And this is something that we've been advocating over here at Portugal Unplugged, that there's no such thing as one size fits all in terms of travel. Yeah, every person has different motivations to travel. And so instead of always asking for what's best, ask what's best for you. That's it. So started off from in the north, and I feel like I've been hogging the mic over here for the last 10, 12
are,
minutes.
3 weeks without a podcast and you are unstoppable.
Yeah, but well, because you're calling me unstoppable, Gabriel, now is your time to shine. So what memorable experiences do you have?
Okay. Well, you are a funny guy. You had a funny moments. Me too. But because I'm the black sheep, I'm gonna share more about 2025 because well, last year I had so many great tours, great experiences with small groups, couples, even with teens, with all kind of people, and retreats, hiking tours, long trips to Lisbon, to Seville, stopping in the middle of the highway because there was some kind of no, it was an effective so truck drivers strike. I mean, here it was full of stories too, and so funny. But because I already run three nice tours this year, I'm gonna share about these three beautiful tours because they've been so great. I feel so happy. And I didn't share today's tour, but I'm gonna share. I'm a storyteller, and I like to share on Facebook groups too the story of the day, kind of. I like to do this, and I know some people. Well, maybe some people they don't fancy, they don't see it. They don't have to. But some other people they see it and they keep saying, Gabriel, I just love to hear your stories, this and that. So today, when we finished the tour with this lovely couple coming from Ottawa, Canada. Tom, such a funny guy. Pretty much, I mean, these kind of people who are always talking, always laughing. He sounds like a guide, he sounds like a tour guide. And it's funny because Gail's son is also a tour guide in Rocky Mountains, so in Canada. So we really very fast we engage in a manner that we were like friends, like old friends, like old buddies. And then even the way we were talking about all things about Canada, about I don't know, about Ferdinand Magellan, about the Portuguese when we reached Japan, and all these stories, it was just like we were just good friends. And by the end of the tour, when we stopped here at Alfagar, we just came out of the van. I always like to go, and when people they allow me, I like to give a nice hug. I'm a Portuguese, I'm a Latin, so I like to hug people. And then Tom said something like, he said, you know, Gabriel, we had a blast. Man, I didn't expect you were so happy. I mean, I thought, okay, maybe today I felt inspired because you were so happy too. Because sometimes I have my moments too. I'm not always like this, to be honest. I always deliver my best, but we all have our, let's say, days off. We don't feel with so much energy. But it was so amazing because I didn't felt the time passing. It just flew by, and it was amazing. So today it was really a blast. 2 days ago, I had this couple, 81 and 80 years old. 80, Jesus. We went to Silves. The people who know already Silves, usually I park by the river. Then we walk through the market. We walk, Sergio, you remember too? We climb throughout the castle.
I think that Sergio just fell off, but
Yeah,
he might be on the way again.
yeah, he will be back.
Oh, there.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
I'm back. Sorry.
okay, Sergio, can you hear me now?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, so I was just telling, you know, then 2 days ago, I had this couple with 80 and 81 years old, and they were such an inspiration for me. They came from, let me remember, Jesus Christ, my memory. So today they were from Ottawa. Yesterday they came from United States. Jesus, I forgot. Oregon, Portland. I now I recall because I remember to talk about, you know, Portland Trailblazers, the basketball, and all of that, and the West Coast, and all these stories related with the Pacific and Magellan. And they were such an inspiration because with 81 years old, they were walking like hell. I mean, they were in a very good shape. We stopped by Caldas de Monchique in the middle of the mountain. We explored that a bit. We walked through some trails. We took amazing photos. Then we went to Monchique. The weather, it was a bit rainy, but they enjoy so much. And then I remember to have all these conversations, and they have plans. They look like young people, like they have plans, and they were really happy and enjoying. They enjoy very much the wild boar with chestnuts. They enjoy very much the black pork. They try other stuff. And when I see people with this energy, this makes me also very happy. And this is the kind of experiences that we as a guides and hosts make us so grateful for the job we have. 3 days ago, I got two sisters, so funny, always smiling too. We started from Faro, and then we went to Lagos, Carvoeiro, so the popular spots, Ponta da Piedade, Algar Seco, and we also enjoy so much because they were always happy, they were always smiling. Even the photos, we can see that they're always smiling. So, and then I think, okay, this is the kind of really experiences I want to have, because we try to deliver our best, we try to make people happy, but when people they are happy, it turns everything much better. So sometimes I say I like to tease people too. I like to play a bit. And even today I said, you know, I think I shouldn't charge you because I'm enjoying so much with you. But of course, I'm still running a business, so it's really great. And yes, last year, you know, maybe the best memories I have, they're always related with something we all like very much. Food, you know, the food tours. I've been guiding many more food tours, food wine tours. As you know, I run these foods, for instance, to Faro. So we just do a walking tour. It's amazing. But I introduce also this, let's say, countryside, rural food tours. So I go through the off the beaten path, all these places. I also took Sergio when he was here a year and a half ago, and we went through Silves and some of the beaten path, beautiful roads and beautiful hills that most people, they don't know because it's really off the beaten path. And so these memories are absolutely amazing. So when I see people, trying for the first time, I don't know, wild boar or octopus or pork cheeks, or for instance today, they trust me, so then I order pork cheeks. I ordered amigas, so the smashed bread with sauces. And when you see the people biting and tasting, and then like they have a blast. I mean, this is so amazing. This is the kind of experiences that makes me really happy too. And well, by the end of the day, people, they are happy. That's what matters. I would say maybe last year 90% of my tours, they were memorable. The other 10, they were also too, because sometimes we have to learn some things. Some people, sometimes they are not so they are not so easy to please, but we are professionals, so we can handle this. And well, it's been an amazing journey. But Lionel, I want to listen to you, man. It's already 3 weeks without listening your stories, and I know you have lots of stories. So I'm gonna throw up the ball.
I've been
Go ahead.
well. I've been doing a lot of new stuff, as you have seen. You might have noticed. All the news for 2025. Okay, in orange color. People are having a blast, loving it. Already run 2 tours with the new van this year. Even driving that on the city, it's a head turner. So I've been loving the experience. It's not 100% perfect. It has some engineering issues that I asked myself, who the hell designed this? But it's been a very nice experience. And talking about tours and talking about memorable things. Well, I have plenty. In fact, since I've been touring for myself, already had a few. Since I've been touring for a long time, I even have more. Okay, but sometimes we really feel that we make some people's days very special, and that's the best feeling we can get. Okay, the gratitude we feel at the end of the day because we made the journey of someone very, very special. um, I remember an example, and I was touring for myself, not for long. Okay, I had it pretty much started doing for myself probably a few months. This was already in 2022, or so it was yet in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember I had a special request for a tour of Sintra from one person, one lady, that she had a physical condition. She had fallen. She was using what is known as a knee scooter. Okay, so those little scooters that you put your knee with the cast on top of it, and you just push it with the other leg, and you move around. Now, I imagine that, you know what I'm talking about. Most people might know. Um, the lady really wanted to visit the Pena Palace in Sintra. Okay, that was the time where I was still going there. And I love the place, but a few issues, of course, are taking me out of there, but that's another story. The thing is, I told her, okay, we are going to make this happen. And I'm going to put all my effort to make this happen. So from pulling the knee scooter, from taking whichever possible ride or lift or whatever, the fact is we managed to make it to the Pena Palace, and she got the visit, the Pena Palace. Okay, still with her knee on the scooter, and with me just helping on the cobblestones that are not even at all and are steep to make it happen. So she managed to get there, and the feeling of her gratitude at the end was very, very rewarding. And sometimes I usually say that more than what we do as a business, okay, it's that sense of accomplishment, that sense of mission accomplished, that we made someone's day, someone's life much better. It's the best feeling we can get, because otherwise, there wouldn't be many people, or probably there aren't many people that will hold or stand well 14, 15, 16 hours in a row, like we do very often. And I already had one of those this year, okay. And we at the end of the day, the gratitude of the people that we provided, well, a nice and memorable experience. Um, it's one of the best things we can get as a reward. So there are plenty of stories, of course, some more funny than others, but I prefer to keep in memory these special moments of gratitude that I've got from someone that was really thankful for what I provided. And this will be always the kind of thing that I look for. So of course, a lot of people come with a checklist, come like with a menu that we want to see this, we want to see that. But as a local, as a planner, as a tour guide, I know that those things don't work. And just giving a little bit of an advice for people that want to come to Portugal or whichever place they plan to travel. But I'm using Portugal as we are over here. People that want to come to Portugal and they want to see everything at once. I'm just gonna leave here one question. When you go to the restaurant and you are given the menu, do you order all the dishes at the same time? Do you order everything on the menu for once? Probably not. So you can't handle all the platters, all the dishes at once. Don't try to see everything in one trip to Portugal, and there will be great memories to remember on a comeback. And there will be great people here with arms wide open, to welcome you. If you left a great impression on the first time, I'm pretty sure that there will be some friends that you made, and on the next time you come back, you will find those friends very happy to see you again. So to create sometimes these memorable experiences, this needs to work both ways. We need to have people that really, of course, rely on what we want to do and what we want to give, but also they need to trust and to understand that we also want them to have a great experience, and we do the extra mile. We go as further as we can to provide the very best. Okay, and I'm just going to bring back the example of Sergio. Um, Planning a wedding proposal or planning a birthday celebration, for most people this might seem the easiest thing possible, but I'm pretty sure that when you planned such thing, you already had something on your sleeve. You already had kind of a wild card. You already had like a plan B. If things don't match or things don't go according to the plan, you have another options. You have something you readily take out from your sleeve without people noticing, just to provide that special moment. And it's really that what moves us, that what motivates us. Okay. And pretty much the reward, it's really to all the smiles and the hugs we get at the end that make the difference. So well, I don't want to be the guy bringing the bad news, but time just flies, and we already spent our half an hour on our Unplugged Live. But I'm still going to throw the ball to you and back to Sergio. I don't know if you want to add something else. The only thing I can say, it's so good to be back. So very happy to keep on going.
Yeah, sure.
Please go ahead.
I have another example to give you. You were mentioning before that lady that had some mobility issues to travel to the Pinna Palace. And for whatever reason, it reminded me not of a person who had mobility issues, but when I first did my Wine and Stars tour. Basically, it was a nighttime tour at the Douro Valley, which involves some stargazing, some star contemplation, and whatnot. And I remember this one because the day before I had two couples on a tour. They didn't know each other, and they bonded really well during the day that we had together, the five of us. And then I casually mentioned to them that, well, I was actually one of my interests is precisely astronomy, astrophotography, and that I was developing the Wine and Stars tour. And they were so interested in it. And I told them, well, I don't have the tour is already set. I just need to do sort of a test run of the tour. Um, so I will probably be doing that tomorrow myself. But and they were like, unless you guys want to join me, and I just threw out there, unless you guys want to join me, and then we can go out to the Douro Valley again, and you guys can be my guinea pigs. And they were like, well, we don't have anything planned for tomorrow afternoon, so yeah, we met up again the following day. This time not as tourists, but rather as friends. And we had a wonderful time together. And I took them to a different restaurant instead of being a vineyard dinner, because we had done that the day before. I instead took them to a small local restaurant with a different approach to the gastronomy of the region. And then I took them to the village where my family still owns a small house there. And that is the place where I set up the telescope and set up the stargazing session for them. And I told them, look, I was going to do this by myself. I'm not going to charge you anything because this is still not an official offering that I have. I just want you guys to give me your feedback, and your feedback is going to be the most invaluable thing that you can offer me during this trip. And so that's what they did, and they absolutely loved it. They said that it's well structured, it's very interesting. They got to see the Milky Way, something that they don't see in the places where they live. And at the end of the day, even though we arrived to Porto at something like, I don't know, 1:30 a.m. or so, it was quite a bit late.
Yeah.
Everyone was super excited about it, the things that they had just seen, the things that they had just experienced. And yeah, at the end of the day, that's what matters, is that people had a wonderful experience. You were also mentioning Plan B, Plan C, Plan D for when we have those special occasions that we want to make sure that everything goes just right. Well, yeah, for example, on the last tour that I hosted that the gentleman proposed, I gave him a list, in my opinion, and before the tour, even before we got into the car, he already had a list, a layout of the estate, the place where he could propose, and the places where he could propose during the walk, because he wanted to take a quiet walk. He didn't want it to be guided. He wanted to be just him and the girlfriend, and he wanted to propose a little bit more privately. And he ended up proposing at the table during lunch. So you see that plans do change. And but he already knew the layout of the estate even before he got to the estate. And so uh, while we were driving up from the pier and up to the restaurant, I pointed out, well, here's and the girlfriend, she obviously was not paying attention to what we were saying. So here's a very nice viewpoint, and the gentleman, he immediately took notice. Here's also a very nice chapel of the estate, another place, another fantastic place. And so, yeah, we had this sort of code between ourselves that we made sure that everything was going smoothly. And guess what? He never needed any of my recommendations because he did what he felt was right. So, yeah, it goes quite a bit more beyond just the simple planning for these occasions. And this is something that Thomas was saying in the comments a few moments ago. Working with a guide, it's completely different than doing things solo. And this time around, I'm going to put myself in the tourist perspective, not in the customer perspective. And I still remember the first tour that I ever took in another country. And this was during my honeymoon in the Dominican Republic nearly 13 years ago. And I still remember the guide's name, Quirico Reyes, because he was super fun, super passionate about what he was doing, and he treated us like family. And so I actually asked him if he wouldn't mind if we could take a picture with him, because he was definitely one of the highlights of our honeymoon as well. We were fortunate enough to book 2 tours while we were in the Dominican Republic, and for both tours we got Kiriko as our guide, and he was absolutely phenomenal on both tours. We ended up enjoying his touring style very much, and for me, it's interesting to think about him because I also try to bring a little bit of that personality into my tours as well. So we drink from a lot of places. We take inspiration from a lot of places, from a lot of tour guides that we meet, and we even have this cultural interchange, which helps with our personal growth as well, which I feel ultimately
Oh
brings
yeah.
a lot of value to everyone that we contact with.
Hmm.
Last thought, well, Lionel, you were saying it right. You don't order every single dish on the menu for a single meal. You don't try to see all the estates of the Douro Valley on a single trip. Because I had people asking me as well, can we do 4, 5, 6 estates on a single day? I mean, you can, but I can assure you that after the third, you're not going to be tasting wine anymore. You're just going to be chugging down wine. That's it. And so at the end of the day, and in fact, after lunch, a lot of people tell me that if the tour was to end right after lunch, they would be happy with that.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't
Oh
know
yeah.
any better because they had such a wonderful time. They did a small producer, family producer. They did the boat. Had a fantastic wine paired lunch. A lot of people tell me that if the tour was to end right after the lunch, and if they were heading back to Porto after lunch, they would be happy and they would say that the day was 10 stars. So yeah, so these are just my final thoughts, and I know that we like to keep things on in 30 minutes, but it's the first time of the year that we're together,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
let's just go a little bit overboard.
Yeah.
Lionel, Gabriel, anything to add?
Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna just finish in a couple minutes, okay? Because yeah, also read what Thomas Papadak he wrote, and it's so funny because even today, Tom actually is also Thomas and Gail. They have a car. You know, they are staying here for a long stay. They're gonna stay but until the end of the month, and okay, they have a car, but they hire me. And why? Well, because they know they made a very good investment. I mean. Uh, by the end of the day today, they have very good tips for real good local restaurants. I asked them, please don't share this on Facebook. I mean it. I know this is not popular, but Jesus Christ, I always tell my guests, I need to keep some locals like authentic. I mean, okay, so the thing is, we've been enjoying very much. They've been enjoying very much. Why they hire a guide? We are guides. So when we are talking here, we can forget we are guides. And when people they listen, well, okay, maybe it looks like we are trying to sell something. Well, of course, we are tour guides, so we sell ourselves. That's why we try to show up. And this is the way the world works for any kind of profession. And that's why I share my stories of the day. I'm going to do next. So stay tuned. But the thing is, it's very important because then people they see what others they've been doing. Today, Tom, and Gail, they told me they travel a lot. New Zealand, throughout the United States and Mexico, everywhere in the world, and almost everywhere where they go. Usually, they take one day and they hire one guide, like I did in Brazil, like you did in Dominicana because we know we can get so much in just one day. And when we think about investment, well, they're going to save lots of money until the end of the month. Because I told them, you're going to park here, you're going to visit this hiking trail, you go to this restaurant, you go to this shop, you're going to avoid these traps. So, in the long term, they didn't spend money with me. Actually, they bought something for free. And even more, one of the most beautiful memories I got from last year, I had one with Eric too. He wrote something about it. Of course, it was really nice to meet Eric and all the gang, the cyclists. We went through the West Coast and Mochique, but it was a free hiking tour because in winter, I'm going to run in a couple of weeks. I like to offer one or two free hiking tours. So these people, it's still coming, you know, people on Facebook, sometimes they refer us. So I don't mind. It's a big pleasure for me to go out for a hiking tour as a friend. I don't have the responsibility to be a guide. Of course, I'm gonna guide people anyway. But some of the most memories, best memories from last year, it was these two free hiking tours. And now I'm gonna run another free hiking tour. And today I told Gail and Tom, I'm gonna invite you to join me on a free hiking tour, because of course they went to a very popular hiking trail in the Algarve. You know the name, right?
Mm,
Seven Hanging
Yes.
Valleys.
yeah.
Beautiful. But then they said I didn't expect to see so much people there. I mean, okay, it's nice, it's popular. I like it there too. But I told him no, but I'm gonna take you off the beaten path. And you will see we have other trails that owns nothing to Seven Hanging Valley. So I'm gonna do this. And then Tom looked to Gail and then he said, so we're gonna get two tours, and that's it. So we run a business. We try to provide the memories, and we like to help people. And of course, we like to help people who are also keen, or who are also open, or who are also altruist and grateful. So we have a beautiful job, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna do very well this year too, guys. And okay, so yeah, 12 minutes beyond time. So I think it's time to just to say goodbye. It was a pleasure to talk with you, and thank you everyone for. Oh, we have some comments. I don't know if you wanna go ahead,
Well,
guys. Ah,
I was just checking the comments, Sergio. We had here the comment from Thomas, from Eric. Okay. And well, Vitor, Vitor might be the person probably with more memories to share. Okay. Uh, and well, the only thing I can say, I missed these guys. Okay. So, in fact, this few weeks that, okay, we took off. Well, there was something missing on every Monday evening. So it's great to be back. But
Yeah.
well, we keep on going. Of course, we keep on sharing our articles, our posts on social media, on the Unplugged and our personal and corporate social medias. I've been doing a lot on that. Sergio as well, you as well, Gabriel. And well, from my side, I just want to thank everybody who's watched. People that are new on the group might also watch us later. Just to let you know, we're going to post this on YouTube, and I'm going to put the link of YouTube. So for people that want to check some of the previous lives.
listen, yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, we've been doing this for a year, and it's been amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly. 1 year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but for a
So
year,
we're celebrating our first birthday. Yes.
from the Unplugged lives, and well, too many more to come. So, well, I want to thank everybody again, and a good evening, and we'll see you back next Monday
Good
night.
evening, guys. Good evening,
Yep.
everyone. See you
Have a
next
great
week.
week and see you next week.